Okay, we're going to be talking about Occam's razor, Fukushima disaster, and how it's all about somebody else. This is a bleating someone did onto my channel on a video I put up that was about homeopathic radiation causes. I'm going to say some things here that are going to piss people off. If you double the exposure to something dangerous, you double or at least increase the amount of damage you're doing to yourself and the effect. It doesn't decrease, and lowering the intensity doesn't increase the damage to you. It's not that it's this counterintuitive thing that somehow is true, it's that it's simply not really true. Homeopathy does not work because it's not real. Live with this, embrace it, cuddle it, it's wonderful. If you're exposed to... Now, I'm going to give an example of something that is counterintuitive. Real quick here. You have less of a likelihood of dying from cancers, I'm being very specific, any kind of lung cancer, caused by marijuana smoke. Marijuana does not cure cancer, because it does not. What happens is it doesn't just damage cells, it destroys them inside of your lungs, and your body purges them, like it would if you were exposed to anything else, like a head cold, or just ordinary breathing will cause cell damage in the lining of your throat. Your body replaces these cells. Smoking cigarettes damage the cells, but they don't die. So your body doesn't replace them, so they're a damaged, wounded cell that just goes bad. The reason marijuana doesn't cause cancers often is because it completely kills the cells, or it doesn't do anything to them. It might even thin out weak ones, for all we know. But it isn't a cure for cancer, because it simply causes less cancer when you're doing it. If you didn't use marijuana or smoke cigarettes, it's not either or, you can do neither of them, you have an incredibly low risk of cancer, and that's all there is to it. Unless you're like me with permanent lung damage, and quite frankly, I don't know of anything that's going to fix it. That's an example of something that is counterintuitive. But when you look into why, it doesn't really sound like you should be smoking marijuana versus not smoking anything. Because that would be reality. Now let's get on with the anti-radiation activists. People who watch my channel know that I absolutely detest activists because they don't think. And the minute they run into someone who thinks, they act like you're literally the devil who's possessed by something worse, Beelzebub, and they're mad at you because you're not listening to them. This is like somebody who's religiously screaming at you, I'm trying to scare you into believing because I'm trying to save you. No, you're just trying to scare me, and you're really, really poor. You're not really good at this. Get your fire and brimstone sharpened up. Anyway, read documents that explains the impact of Fukushima disaster. I've read all of them. I'm related to people who made them. You're an incompetent twit. Radiation damage is unclear. It's unclear how they're slowing down the radiation damage that we think is supposed to be happening. This is kind of a tell. The person's realizing that all these deaths that didn't happen are still not happening. When was Fukushima happen? When did this happen? The west coast of the United States is being fried right now, remember? We're dying. We've been dead. The video I posted was about the fact that the deaths from the disasters, more than one, that day, were caused by the earthquake first, and the tsunami very much so. Radiation exposure from Fukushima should have killed people, but there's a stupid thing of them using safety procedures, and they didn't die from it. And that really, this is really pissing people off who want to get rid of radiation and exposure. Not because they want to save your life, but because they want to have their political power. Because they want you to stop having nuclear power plants. See, I use powered. It's that's a really lame joke. Please ignore that. Just this isn't the joke you were looking for. Anyway, an article giving only hypothetical data as to the death toll in all its forms. No, there's an actual body count. When people die, they count that. You know that, right? It's not hypothetical. The only thing hypothetical is they're estimating in the future there might be deaths. When you plan ahead, you don't assume that you're correct. You see, scientists don't do that. They say we should have some deaths. The fact is that they're not having any deaths. Even the predicted deaths from the radiation aren't happening because people followed safety procedures and people left the area. So for those of you who don't know, the estimates on the death toll that were projected from radiation exposure were based on people actually not leaving when they were told to. People left when they were told to, because they were told to leave and evacuate so they wouldn't die from radiation. They just gotten hit with an earthquake and a tsunami, and honestly, they were already leaving if they were physically capable of still walking. If anything, the thing that saved their life was simply not dying from the tsunami and earthquake. They were trying to escape anyway, because the town was flattened. Why the hell is this so hard for people to just freaking learn from? Anyway, the reactor was damaged from the tsunami and not the earthquake. Why the hell would that even be going on? The earthquake happened almost instantly as far as mechanical effects, and the tsunami happened after they started shutting down what they could. You can look at the time sequence. Oh, no, we have to question everything, otherwise known as ignore everything, and just make up our own little fucked up story. Look, the earthquake caused most of the damage initially. Obviously, tsunami running into something right next to the water source would be damaged too. But the fact is, the earthquake does more damage to a cement building than water. Because it does. What backs up WAPTEK's idea that no one died from radiation sickness? The fact that they didn't die from it. The fact that that wasn't a cause. The fact that when you pull someone out of the water who's just drowned, I don't think you're going to check for radiation exposure. Meanwhile, the people who had radiation exposure and didn't die from either the earthquake or the tsunami are still alive. So they haven't died from radiation sickness because they didn't die. People are currently being exposed to radiation levels on par with being in outer space. What, you mean like during nighttime within the Van Allen belts, where it's actually slightly lower than being in an aircraft during daylight? Yes, that's actually a thing. I'm going to continue. I'm not going to stop. Ever heard of Occam's razor? Yes, I'm applying it, and I'm cutting my throat with it. Just anyway, your description should be a bit humiliating. Now, this is the humiliating. We're going into the next comment here. This is someone who insists on bringing up, you should feel ashamed or feel bad. So I'm going to skip it. I'm going to edit this out. Have you ever heard of Occam's razor? The workers aren't dying because of their dosage being monitored closely. Short-term exposure is fine, but no one can live there long-term when all is considered, i.e. radioactive water. Most thyroid cancers are curable, particularly when you're dealing with young patients. The mental anguish was caused by many factors, and not just radiation. Most being had to leave their belongings and start all over again. Yeah, those are the ones who ran away from the radiation sources. Now we're just getting weird. Moving is one of the most stressful things a human can do. I see you spun the facts towards your favor, in spite of the people whom their lives is really affects. I'm not going to fix that. These people don't need someone trying to sell homeopathy ideology in their name, because by your logic, everyone around the world should be dropping like flies, as the logic of the less you get, the stronger it is, should be given everyone lethal doses. This is someone who read the title of my video and didn't actually watch it or read the description. Let's continue. Or at least receiving higher than anticipated amounts of radiation without any basis. The reason many people don't like your video is because it's beyond a joke. I'm sorry, but all things considered, I didn't gain anything from this video. You didn't watch it. I could gain more from being on the internet for 5 minutes and have more reliable information than what you're right here purposed. One last thing, which is that your links actually contradict your propositions. You read the title of my video, didn't watch it, and wondered why all the comments and information in the video pointed to the fact that you didn't watch the video. Okay, I'm done shredding this apart. Please show some humility, because one of the defining things about healthy people is that they can feel embarrassed. You literally judged a video by its title, paused it, posted that comment. This was during a day that I didn't get a view on the video. You didn't watch the video, I know that. It didn't get watched after a certain point. So you were the only one who was supposed to have watched it that day. It was your job to watch it. You didn't do your tick your jabs. You didn't watch the video, did you? I'm going to let other people interpret this. Maybe they can figure out where you're going, but I'm going to do Occam's razor. I'm applying it, not to my throat. You literally didn't watch the video, and you noticed that all the links in the... I have links that contradict my feelings. I post most... some people don't know that. I put links in that don't agree with my conclusion. I have to study both sides, so I put them in there. So you paused the video and just looked at the links. Okay. And you thought I was saying the opposite of all of the links. Your description should be a bit humiliating. Okay, now I'm going to read the rest of the things, including the word humiliating. By the way, please stop using these expressions. Please stop ever doing this again. Yes, amazingly enough, the quake and tsunami killed people, but there have been no fatalities linked to short-term overexposure to Fukushima radiation. While the accident should cause 130 cancer deaths in a linear no-threshold model, it has not. Yes, that's essentially a synopsis of my video. That's almost a direct quote of what I said in the first 2 minutes of it. Scrolling on down. Here we go. None of the workers of the plant have died from acute radiation poisoning or confirmed casualties from radiation exposure. 6 workers died during containment efforts or work to stabilize earthquakes and tsunami damage at the site for various reasons, including cardiovascular disease, but no evidence supports an increased cancer rate or birth defects, since also the 0.1% death rate in 100,000. Chernobyl cleanup workers over a 20-year study, a 99% survival rate from 1989 to 2005 for kids with thyroid cancer. Patients with negligible radioactive exposure did display extreme anxiety about radiation exposure and develop many psychosomatics problems. So the life expectancy of evacuees dropped because of depression and suicide, not radiation. Now this is the part that I remember, because that's a cut and paste from my video. And then he left a link. The link pointed, I'm not including it, to a news article that quoted my video. You're quoting a news source that used me as a news source and quoted me to prove me wrong. Okay, I've been running into this problem for 3 months now. When I look up a subject because I want to revisit it from a few months before, even if I clean my cookies and whatever, that sounded really wrong, I run into people quoting my video verbatim for news sources. In English, in America in some cases. People are using my videos for crib notes, and other people coming to my channel saying, "You got this wrong. This guy got it right. Here's the quote." And I say, "Look at my video." "Oh, you added it." "No, I didn't. They quoted me." Yeah, I'm getting quoted by news sources. This is really weird. So when I look up stuff, sometimes I run into something and I'm like, this is very familiar. This is a cut and paste of the description from my video. That was a cut and paste from my video. So someone's arguing with me using me. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that.